Okay, Bannock County Commissioners are back in session. Have the prosecuting office in front of us now. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and tell us what's going on.
Okay, I'm Steve Herzog, the elected prosecutor. I brought John Radford with me, the senior prosecutor, and Brian, who's also a prosecutor and civil deputy. So I think what I might start with, I'm going to ask for some input from John and Brian to kind of give you some perspective on a couple of issues that they've been thinking about.
And so I think it's in relation to the clerk's proposed budget. We've had an opportunity to review that. And any comment I make to the commission, the panel today, I want to just be very clear how appreciative we are. We understand the constraints that you're working under when it comes to budgeting issues. We understand that the resources of the county are very finite, and that the commission has a number of issues in front of it that draw on those resources. And we just appreciate your efforts. We appreciate the efforts of the clerk, of Ms. Clauser, and for I think that the proposed budget is going to help significantly. As the commission is aware, the prosecuting attorney's office right now is struggling with an issue of short staffing. We just simply don't have very many attorneys. We've received a couple of applications, 2 applications, I believe, in the last year of attorneys that were not hired at our office and accepted positions in other counties, competing counties. One we learned of yesterday was an experienced attorney, accepted a job in Bonneville County that pays for a salary of over $105,000. That would be in a position that's equivalent to our senior deputy, which we've line itemed.
How much did you say?
Over $105,000 is what he communicated to me. I know that they're advertising a DOE in Bonneville County. When he applied, the DOE was somewhere around the area of $86,000 to $105,000, depending on experience. They ended up giving him more than $105,000 to get him to apply. We had another applicant that went to Teton County in what would be equivalent to our junior position, and that position paid about $92,000. So the only thing I'm trying to communicate to the commission is that we are dealing with competition from other counties. And the concern that we have is, although, and I want to make it very clear, we're very appreciative for what the commission has done here and what the clerk has proposed here. We do have some concern that it's not going to end up being competitive when applied to other counties. There are issues that remain to be seen. One of the refrains that I heard actually from both applicants that turned down positions in our county was concerns about the housing market in Bannock County. Now, whether there's going to be a downturn, I think that could change employment perspectives and applicant perspectives. The other thing is that the commission is aware that we just had an election. There's going to be a change, however that turns out with the elected prosecutor, and we don't know yet what impact that's going to have on our ability to recruit and attract applicants to the county. And so I do think that we need to wait to see how that pans out. I know that the available resources of the county are pretty much tapped out right now. And so we're going to ask you to accept the budget as proposed by Mr. Dixon. At some point, we are going to have to deal with, we're dealing with, at this point, we're able to keep staff on in the office, and when we have a vacancy open up with our staff, we do get applicants. We don't get very experienced or qualified applicants, but we do get applicants. And so I think those positions are more at market, but what we're concerned about is staff that have been here for quite some time that are just kind of tapped out. And in terms of their ability to grow in the county and be rewarded for staying and gaining the experience that they have in doing their job. And so I know that this budget cycle may not be the time to deal with those issues, but at some point I think we are going to have to deal with looking at raising staff pay. And what that needs to be, I don't know quite yet. that's-
Just for a couple of answers there.
Okay.
Commissioner Huff has a group that he's been working with, and we're working for, well, go ahead, explain your.
The compensation group looked at pay across the counties and trying to come up with a plan that we could put in place that would bring all of our salaries up to a market, and we still haven't defined what market is, but bring it up above where it's at now. And in this year, we identified 2 areas that we really wanted to focus on, with the attorneys being one and the operators of the landfill, and road and bridge is the other. So we're aware of your concerns, we're aware of your need, and it's been a discussion point for several months now, how to approach it, where to go.
Okay, thank you.
And through doing that, we realize that we have quite a few areas where we're 15% down, and we have some that we're as high as 27% off of market. And so it's something that we've worked at and we're working hard at now, so that it isn't something that has to be brought up every budget year. And so that
And one of the
steps.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done this year that I think is a fantastic step forward is we've compressed our pay table from 10 steps down to 5, and there will be some adjustments along the way on that. So some people will, just due to that, will receive an automatic increase that, and to go along with that, we're working towards that 3% COLA raise. So those are the 2 things that are on the table right now that we're working to make sure stay in place. And then the rest of the stuff, like I said, the attorneys are a priority for us with the rest of the stuff.
And I agree, at this point, attorneys need to be the priority. That's where we're really struggling in terms of attracting applicants. So we appreciate the attention and the work that you've put into trying to address that issue.
And as far as the clerk's recommendation, what I always do every year when we're talking about raises and substantial raises is I look at recruitment and holes that have been created. So the spots that we can't seem to hire are in the jail and attorneys. And so those 2 areas are the ones that got the most substantial bump.
Thank you.
One thing, and maybe this is something we can talk to Christie about afterwards, is trying to figure out a salary range for our 2 prosecuting positions, the deputy and senior. So when we do go to post a job opening, that we can have some range of pay.
Right now, at this point, whatever's budgeted is what you can bring people in at. There really isn't a range that's been allowed for. But we can definitely look. I mean, right now, there are 2 entry-level attorney positions. And then there are, and one of those positions is filled, and one of those is going to be, was recently vacated in the last little bit. The rest of the positions are senior positions, budgeted at a grade 18, but they are budgeted at, vacant positions are budgeted at a step 1, and then if they're filled, they are wherever the salary needs to be at. So we really don't have an address for hiring within ranges for attorneys right now. We kind of tapped out the property taxes doing what we did within this request.
So maybe kind of clarify this. Like Erin Tognetti's position, the clerk's proposed salary for her is 100.
So I think
How would that?
the budget sheet you have
If we're going
has,
to talk about people, should we go into executive session?
we can, but I was going to say, if you look at the sheet you have, there should be a position control number. For example, yours, Steve, starts with the 3, and then a bunch of zeros and 7?
Yes.
Okay, so if we talk position control numbers, we don't have to go into executive. But the senior deputies, if there's a job title as senior deputy, prosecuting attorney, that's a grade 18. Those positions will be at a step 1, except for 103003. That one's at market.
And if it'd make it easier, we can go into executive
Yeah,
session.
we can.
Would you like to do that?